Professional football in America is a special game, a unique game. Played nowhere else on earth, it is a rare game. The men who play it make it so.
Hey, everyone in, let's go. Huddle up on 3. 1, 2, 3, huddle up.
I can't never play football before. These guys are nothing.
You hear me?
They please us like we do.
Yes, sir.
They sweat us like we do.
Do you hear me?
They went through 2 days. We went through 2 days in 110-degree heat.
Yes, sir.
I want you to hit everything that moves. If the ref gets in your way, you hit him.
Okay, then, let's play.
But they're cheating us too. They're against us too. This is our team. This is us. Let's go right now. Let's get it up now. Let's go.
Back-to-back, man. You do not see this in college football.
But the Georgia Bulldogs bludgeon their way to back-to-back. Glory, glory, Georgia, as the fight song says.
For the lead. Butker up, got it. And the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57. And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, Huddle Up Podcast. It is Tuesday, November the 7th, 2023. And after a week away, we are back to our normal Tuesday night shenanigans. It was Wednesday night shenanigans a week ago. And we do, of course, thank the student of the game, Kyle Nash, for hosting us over on his side of the world.
Honor, joy, and privilege, Big Jim, as always.
So welcome in, Kyle. Welcome in, EJ. How we doing?
How you doing, buddy? Happy Election Day. I heard you voted.
I did, man. I was bummed, man. My polling location didn't have stickers.
What the hell?
That sucks.
You have one job.
I mean, well, there was
one necessarily secure the ballots. You give out stickers.
There was one table that had stickers, but I wasn't going to go take one from them. You can figure that out.
Matt, I have a question about Matt. Did you vote today?
I did vote today.
Very good. Very proud of you.
Very good. Very good. Welcome in, Matt. How you doing?
Doing well. Big win for the Eagles. The Miami Heat season is officially dead since they're 3-4.
One in a row. They won 2 in a row, though. But yeah,
that doesn't matter, EJ. Does not matter. Does not matter. This record they have right now is worse than the one that you proclaimed the Sixers DOA on last year.
Fair point, Matthew.
Following your logic.
Fair point, Matthew Eliza. Fair point.
By the way,
so now EJ is back to what, MLB? Oh no, you still got Florida State, I guess.
Yes, that's
yeah.
You know what? It's baseball season, EJ.
Oh, isn't it really though? He's a Mets fan.
Is it Go Canes this week? This FSU Miami week.
I mean, absolutely. It is absolutely
Go Canes
week. Are you kidding?
I will if the Noles lose this Saturday at 3:30. I will not show up on the show next week. I'm dead ass serious.
Well, first of all, let me lead with this. Wow, Jim. For those,
what a dick! What a dick!
He went full religious man, my blessing Lord, to make sure that
he his Catholic faith there a little bit.
I mean, I'm not even Catholic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not even, I know. It's the Notre Dame thing. It confuses.
Yeah, exactly. I got throw me off a little bit.
No, I have a friend who got his master's in theology at Notre Dame, so it is a thing to be confused about. By the way, Jim, what's up, Devin? I was about to say that you brought in The Rock too soon with "Shut up, bitch," because we weren't talking about EJ calling, I don't know, him pulling something out of his sock drawer a must-win. But then he came in with the whole, Miami Heat thing with The Rock, and then he's trying to be like The Rock, but he's an FSU fan, and it just all very got confusing. So you'll
figure it out. It's been over 10 years. You'll figure it out.
Your face.
Frisky start to the show today. Why?
Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead. We've got all the pleasantries out of the way. If you're following along with us live, we certainly appreciate that. As always, give it a like, give it a share, comment, and interact with us as the show goes on. We certainly appreciate that. Follow us on all of our social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel and the podcast.
Jay, for those who are watching the video, you'll see that is a student of the game mug from which he is sipping.
There it is.
Merchandising.
All right, let's take a look back at the weekend that was. As we do each and every week, we look back at the previous weekend. We figure out what was the good, what was the bad, what was the ugly. EJ, start us off, man. What was good this weekend?
Yo, my good is that quarterback in Houston, CJ Stroud. Holy hell.
He is him.
Raise your hand. You had the Texans being 4-4 and in the mix of a wild card spot right now through 9 weeks in the playoffs.
I had 4
Thank you. And by the way, receivers. Can you name a receiver on that roster? There's no I can't.
Something Tank Dell because he's on my fantasy team. So
my point is
that's how I know who Tank Dell is.
and I'm going to say something here.
And Colton Schultz, former Cowboy. That is
okay. That makes sense.
Nico Collins.
I'm going to say something here too. Also, maybe a hot take, but it's on brand for me, of course.
Thank
you, Mike. Nico Collins. That's right. That's one. CJ Stroud, and granted, it's only a 9-week sample.
Don't.
What? I'm going to say.
Don't.
What?
I mean, you can finish this. I'm trying to tell you.
You say it. Go ahead and say it.
No. I'm not going to say it.
No, say it. Say it.
No, this is you.
No, you. CJ Stroud, through 9 weeks, top 10 quarterback.
Can I get back to you?
14 touchdowns, 1 interception through the year.
Can I get back to you on that? Honestly, I'm not prepared.
Through 9 weeks, we can only use a 9-week sample. Really, honestly.
I mean,
he is certainly.
In the current season, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a scalding hot take.
Yeah, no,
maybe like a lukewarm.
Yeah,
take.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll take it.
I wouldn't. If someone said he's in my top 10, I don't think I'm going to argue too much. Probably splitting hairs.
Yeah, I think for the year, if you want to go anywhere in like the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like somewhere in that pocket,
it's not like saying SGA is a top 5 NBA player. Like,
who said
that's
that?
a stupid hot
take.
take.
Who the hell said that shit?
Yeah,
so
I didn't say that. I said it is a potential. I didn't say it was. It's a potential. That's all. But no. But the thing is, like, it's not quite obviously what Pat Mahomes did in his first year. Well, technically second year KC, but there's a certain impact where, like, you take a team from where they were to another level, kind of thing. That's what you're seeing here at CJ Stroud through 9 weeks. A team that was literally probably the worst team in football last year, they were, to now they're actually a playoff contender now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on paper, the worst team. I mean, there was maybe a couple teams that could have made an argument otherwise. But yeah, obviously on paper, they were the number 1 pick. They were the worst team. So, yeah, definitely exceeding expectations. He's kind of, again, through 9 weeks, proving himself to be the exception to the Ohio State quarterback rule.
Yeah, that too.
So kudos to him, man. You're looking at it and you just go, do the Carolina Panthers have any regret there?
Well, I don't want to bury Bryce Young just yet.
No, I'm not going to either. I think he'll be fine. But yeah, CJ Stroud definitely, and I think we even
doing more with less, I would say.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if you go back to the preseason episode, or maybe when back over the offseason when we were recapping the draft, I think one of the things that we all kind of came to an agreement on is, like, CJ Stroud was more the Bryce Young, I think, was like more like fundamentally sound maybe, and CJ Stroud was flashy's not the right word, but I can't think what the
more
word
big playability.
Yeah, like he has the ability to really be more big plays and be more dynamic maybe.
That's interesting because the analysis I heard from my people was the exact opposite. Bryce Young might be able to get you a big play and improvise, but CJ Stroud, while maybe having the lowest ceiling, certainly had the highest floor and was most NFL ready. That's what I heard. I am not a draft scout by any stretch of the imagination, but my guy Dalton Tinklenberg, for example, of the Scouting Depot was a guy who said that.
There you go.
By the way, a very interesting comment made here by Mikey Byrne at the end. If I might, CJ Stroud will definitely be coming up very soon on the Student of the Game Midseason Awards, which will be the main topic of discussion tomorrow night on the Student of the Game podcast. Thank you for the bell, Jim.
There you go. All right, Kyle. What was your good from this past week?
I'll give you a choice, Jim. Do you want me to go communist or do you want me to go capitalist?
Oh, we got choices here.
Let's go capitalist.
Ooh, woke Jim breaking the mold.
For real.
Ladies and gentlemen, Janet Jackson made an appearance this past football Saturday for college football, featuring one Dylan Gabriel and the Oklahoma Sooners. Yes, they got exposed. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen, America.
Tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
With the British guy, ironically.
Did we both call that game last week? That was one of my locks last week. Was Oklahoma State beating Oklahoma?
Might have been.
Yeah,
might have been. I wasn't brave enough to pick it, but you did make it a lock. Well played, DJ.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about Oklahoma and what they were and what they weren't for weeks now, and they proved us all right. So well,
happy Jim. It's a good thing.
Well done, Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, exactly. I went full Martha Stewart on you there. I just realized.
Martha Stewart.
Some might say it was bound to happen sooner or later.
I'm so proud of you, Jim. Woo! Hey, listen. I might have
just.
I might
there's a dance, Jim.
Before, but after that laugh, I'm woke now. Boom! It's funny because it's woke, Jim.
Yes.
Right.
We got that. Some of us got that. Matt, what was your good from this past weekend?
I think it would have to be the 4:30 game on Sunday where the Eagles were able to hold on and take the victory over the Cowboys and go into the bye week at 8-1. Give them some time to rest Jalen's knee, get a much-needed win.
I mean, this segment is called The Good, not The Obvious, to Matt's point.
It's not funny!
Yeah, it is. I love how the Eagles fan and the Niners fan are enjoying the bejesus out of this one.
I mean, I'm better today than I was.
At least y'all playoff contenders. My team's the worst team in fucking football.
No, the Cowboys are not the worst team in football. Where are you even getting that, EJ? You were saying.
He was talking about the Patriots.
Oh shit, he's right.
I mean, we'll talk about this in a minute. More on that later. But I don't even know if the Cowboys are playoff contenders.
Stop. Let me go again. See, every loss.
Oh, you triggered the Cowboy fan.
But more on that later.
Is Jason on this podcast?
Well, no, I'm not saying that we'll never make the playoffs again. I'm just talking about this year.
All
right, I'll go with my good. The Washington
Eagles.
No, not at all.
Good job.
Washington keeping their undefeated season alive, a close one with USC on Saturday. But the Huskies still alive and now 5th in the country. Again, more on that later. But I mean, we'll certainly talk about the Pac-12, but a close one in California this past weekend. Devin said his good is the Dolphins-Chiefs game wasn't a blowout. There you go. Certainly looked that way.
Devin, good job.
Moral victories. Some like them, others don't. Mike said good for the first time in 2023. Bengals look fully healthy and feel dangerous. Although, are they fully healthy? What was the deal with the Jamar Chase? Something with his back, I thought I saw yesterday. Is it anybody know? Anybody know anything about that?
I'll research that one for you.
By the way, for the record, I want my communist take for the good was our Super Bowl picks looking really smart all of a sudden.
Yeah, they certainly look a little better than they did.
You're right. Back soreness.
Yeah. So there was some comment about, I know like yesterday it said something about wanting to just going to have to go out and support his team. So I don't know if it was like a 1 week situation or looking at a couple weeks, but certainly something to monitor for Bengals fans and bettors and fantasy players alike. So, all right, let's go to the bad. Kyle, what was your bad from this past weekend?
So many directions to go. The committee, is that a fair answer?
I'll allow it.
There'll be a whole lot of
Absolutely.
more on that later, but correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but anybody else like impressed with Penn State yet? Because I'm not.
Who?
Just saying.
No. No.
I
nobody-
can never think of a time where I've ever been impressed by Penn State.
Ooh.
You know,
I mean, I'm sure
To the
there's been
couch,
some
Matthew. To the couch.
I think there's been some points where Matt, maybe we've been impressed with how bad they're. I mean, like I knew this team was
Yeah,
bad,
sure.
but I didn't know they were this bad.
I'm sure I draw ire from the wives of the panelists on a regular basis, and I truly do apologize for that. But no, stop it.
Yeah, no,
I was gonna
Penn State's
go with
not good, man.
yeah, I was gonna go with another bad, but I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder on this panel.
Matt, what was your bad from this past weekend?
You know, I'm going to keep it in Dallas, Jim. And we're going to give our bad to one Rain Dakota Prescott's brother, Tad.
Oh.
Who felt the need to just throw ire at Grant Williams for wearing an Eagles jersey after
What?
the Mavericks won their game because he's a fan of the team. And Tad said that as a member of the Dallas community, he needs to just support the Cowboys. And I don't think necessarily making someone root for the Cowboys, like, why would you wish that on someone? But B, we don't get to police athletes who play in a city rooting for another team. It happens. They've grown up in different states. They've been fans of other teams. If they wear the jersey, let it be. Just
Hey Matt,
let it
real quick
happen.
question.
100%.
Would you? Are you trying to say that you find that a tad annoying?
I don't like that Tad tried to rain on Grant.
Oh, I like that.
There we go. I like that. That was done. That was well done.
Wow!
That was well done. Well
Take
done.
a puff of the cigar there, AJ Hawk. You own that one.
EJ, what was your bad?
Well, my bad is a recurring theme on this segment now.
The Giants.
No, we'll get to that later. More on that later. That's coming. And you know that's a clue for what the ugly is. That's the Buffalo Bills. And not that they played bad this week, but the situation they now end up in now. They're 5-4. The playoffs are today. They're out. And their schedule, the rest of the way, it is brutal. I present you the last 8 games.
A lot of must wins on that schedule, I'm guessing.
Shit, I'm telling you. Well, you know the way the AFC wildcard is shaping up right now. You got the entire AFC North right now in the playoffs currently. The Texans entered their chat. The Colts entered their chat now. All of a sudden, yeah, it's weird. The Raiders entered their chat as well too, all within the game of each other. Their schedule. Now, granted, they play Denver next week, huh?
Raiders.
You're not getting in, of course.
Raiders.
But
Because
Josh,
they clobbered the, as you call them, worst team in football.
No, I didn't call him. He did. I didn't call him that.
Who did?
You
Raiders.
No.
Raiders.
The Raiders clobbered the team that you
No,
anointed as the worst.
I'm not
team in
saying
football.
they're going to playoffs. I'm just saying that whole Walker picture is very muddy right now. There's a lot of people in that conversation.
You said
And
the
Buffalo-
Raiders entered the chat. I'm not
Almost like
I'm
we're
not
only halfway through the season.
I'm just naming teams that are in the conversation.
I'm just not ready to.
The chat
My-
and then it's humbled later.
No, but the reason why I brought this up is because their schedule, Buffalo's schedule moving forward, ain't pretty. Next week, okay, look, they play home against
and
Denver.
still somehow lighter than the start of the year, right?
And so they play Denver at home next week on Monday Night Football. They should win that game. Thank you. But then the next 2 weeks, they play both Super Bowl participants from last year, Kansas City and Philadelphia.
Okay.
Then the Cowboys.
So that's a win.
Shut the fuck up. You can say that. Then the frisky Chargers. You see how if Brandon Steele is actually on his good
they
meds
are
that
not
week.
frisky.
They're
The
not
Chargers
frisky.
that struggled to beat the Jets. Okay.
Yeah. There's a Jets game in there as well, too.
With their problematic coach.
Patriots should be a win, of course. And then the close of the year against Miami.
A team they beat by like 25 a couple
Yeah,
weeks
but
ago.
it's in Miami this time.
Doesn't really sound like a gauntlet there, EJ.
You don't think
Yeah.
so? You don't think KC and Philadelphia
KC and Philly
and-
are tough.
I
Absolutely.
mean,
And
and everyone
it's-
has these stretches.
there
and
may be
that's why
there may be 2 gimmies there. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
And-
but I think they're going to have the edge in at least half of those, even if they're not gimmies.
So, if I may be so bold, EJ, the way you present that is, wow, The Bills made it through the gauntlet, but it's not like they have a rest. They still have these things to consider.
Right.
That's the correct way to present what you did. Not, meh, first half of the season's done. Oh my God. As we did earlier today, as a matter of fact, recording the Student Game Report on the Earnestly Speaking podcast. I even already told you how to make this argument, and you still found a way to blow it.
So, next point is
like
actually
Mike says,
decent.
Bengals final stretch is tougher. I think the Cowboys.
True.
I mean,
Bengals a better team
this week, and
Jaguars.
Cowboys have a 6-game stretch. That's
however,
Eagles
Bengals
have
are
a
better.
tough stretch coming
However,
up.
Bengals are a better team than the Buffalo Bills are at this point now. They and they're much better. Much more team you can trust. Team you can trust more than Buffalo. Buffalo has a lot of ups and downs.
Money.
And that's about the Buffalo too. Buffalo is 1 minute they're
Who do you trust?
high to powers, one of the best teams in football, and then they decide 1 week to just not show up at all. It's one of those things where like, who do you get? Look, I think they might. I look, gun to my head. Do they get into the playoffs? Probably, because I see the Raiders fading out. I don't think the Texans maintain this.
The guns to your head, you don't get to say probably.
Right. Like at that point, you got to decide, motherfucker.
But it's gonna be a fucking dash to the finish.
Guns to your head, EJ. Yes or no? Are they making the playoffs?
Well, I had no for your started because of the schedule.
Damn, gone. Bye.
I had no for your started.
You gone.
We gotta look at the teams around them. Do the Browns maintain?
No, you don't get the waiver. Yes or no?
I'll say no because I said no before your started.
Boom, there you go.
That explosion. What the hell was the hardware that you had?
I think the only issue is that the teams that are around them, do the teams that are in the spots right now maintain their spots? Does the Browns and Steelers maintain their spots? I have a hard time believing that. Both of them, at least anyway, maintain.
I'm still surprised the Browns have.
There you go. To your point.
Yeah,
So,
and I don't think either of them hold their spot. Are the Bills going to be able to take one of those spots?
It's possible.
That's up to them to decide.
Hey,
But
there's
again,
no guarantee your Dolphins, EJ, can win the division. We've seen what they do against actual football.
I think Miami's schedule though going forward much easier than Buffalo, so they offsets that.
I'm sure you hope so.
All right. My bad for this weekend, and I'm going to stick in the same game that I had with my good, and it's the rhetoric around Caleb Williams' show of emotion after the game. I've seen a lot of people coming down on him for being emotional after the game. Now, I think it's a complicated matter because like there's people who are like bashing him because he's crying. Now, there are some receipts where like he was mocking Max Duggan last year about it. You know, I think he's brought some criticism on himself with the some of the things he's written on his fingernails in games. But what you're looking at with this Caleb Williams situation to me is you're looking at a guy that has had unrealistic expectations placed on him by the sports media going into this year.
And even his own coach, Jim, if we're being honest.
Wins the Heisman last year, obviously came back, the repeat campaign heavy enough. There's been a lot of people in sports media talking about, definite number one pick. And then, I saw more than one sports writer going into this season talking about how Caleb Williams was further ahead in his development than Patrick Mahomes. Literally things I've seen said about him. And I'm like, he's 20, he's 21. Like, I'm not saying the guy's not good, but man, when you're talking about being further along than a guy we're debating if he's the greatest quarterback of all time, whatever, that there's some danger there. And what has happened over the last couple of weeks, now granted against Utah, against Notre Dame, certainly didn't have his best weeks.
Make sure you bring up that Notre Dame game there, Jim.
I got to hold on to something.
Got to.
Please,
That's all we've got left.
give me something, asshole. Okay? Can you please for a minute
for the bad segment and you fucked it up? Okay?
Can you please? Well, there's still an ugly, Kyle.
You're not wrong.
We're getting there.
Jesus, let me get there.
She said,
but like there was so much weight put on him, and now you're looking at a situation where it's like should he come out of college, should he not? And from what I saw on Saturday, and this is not a criticism of it, because I love seeing athletes show emotion, not being afraid to, because it starts to hopefully break some of that stigma around the athletes and these big strong football players, hockey players, whatever, shouldn't be allowed to show emotion. They absolutely should. They're human beings. Like let's remember that. But like I wonder, like, is he mentally, emotionally ready to take on the task that sits on a first or second overall pick in the NFL draft?
Well, Jim, that's why he's in those size 12.5 shoes and we're not.
But yeah, just there was a lot of
how much of the criticism though is there, if not for some of the comments made, if not for the wanting ownership of the team that drafts you? I mean, it's similar to Joel Embiid, the crying after the Game 7 loss is shared constantly for Joel, and how much of that is because of the antics that he had in celebration prior. I think a lot of it is retaliatory, and it's unfortunate because it is a 21-year-old kid at the end of the day, but it's kind of one of those things that he prefaced in a I said that jokingly, but I think he has kind of dealt with this type of scrutiny throughout his college career at this point. And I think it's something that is unwarranted. You're correct there. And we shouldn't be judging someone for showing emotion, but I think that it comes off more just because of what we've seen from him prior.
Oh, God,
unfortunately.
Maybe the factor that this game against Washington was a chance to get back into it, and he lost the shootout. He lost the Shogun battle that could have gotten his team to be a factor in the postseason to get a good bowl game over and above his own Heisman stuff. Not to say that your other stuff doesn't hold weight, gentlemen, but how about the fact that this was just actually a big goddamn football game? Sure, most of the East was asleep for it, which is apparent in the Company's overview of the whole thing, but yeah, with that in mind, I agree with both of you. Obviously, how we criticize a guy for allegedly, he never actually said it, by the way. It's all a goddamn rumor that somebody started, right? For allegedly wanting thank you, Jim. Allegedly wanting ownership of the team. Granted, what the value of the Cardinals are of at this point, how much can that really be? I don't know. But I mean, maybe he really likes packs of Skittles. Who knows? But the punchline, but with all that in mind, I'm with both you guys here. The fact that dudes actually care about the game is even when Cam Newton got this schmack, I hated it then, I hate it now.
So
I mean, I've always liked the cockiness out of any athletes. I think there's some positions where it's frowned upon, and I think that's foolish. And I think quarterback is one of those positions where, unfortunately, you're not allowed to buy into your own hype and talk about how good you are. You have to be reserved, and you have to be that leader. And I think that that's kind of an unnecessary mark that gets put on all quarterbacks, because if it was a receiver doing that, everyone would be happy. A running back can talk trash as much as the next guy, but for whatever reason, when quarterbacks do it, it seems to be more frowned upon. And I think that's a stigma that NFL, college football is trying to shake. We're just not quite there yet.
Yeah, no, excellent point. If you're a quarterback, you are scrutinized. If you're Odell Beckham Jr. and say some stupid shit like receivers are selfless, and then people defend you on Twitter. What the fuck, Brandon Howard, by the way, good friend who is the...
What did he say?
He agreed with OBJ saying that receivers are selfless, unironically.
Ooh.
Yeah, you be in a car accident every play and tell me how selfless you are, motherfucker. Please.
All right. Mike had his bad, the inability of the goddamn Jets to hold on to the football. Yeah,
he's not wrong.
The goddamn Jets.
And Devin will kind of lead us into the ugly with this. He said his bad and the ugly is the this whole sign stealing catastrophe that it just keeps giving us more and more every day, doesn't it? I'm
loving it.
But Matt, lead us off with the ugly. What is your ugly from this past weekend?
Yeah, we've got to talk about Notre Dame's offensive coordinator and the ugliness there. Gerard Parker, nice guy, great tight ends coach. I think the biggest question mark going into this season was, how do you replace Tommy Rees? You have a chance to make an upgrade. You didn't. I mean, a little better, sure, maybe, but if you're going to be a program that wants to be taken seriously, wants to compete, I think it needs to come to a point where Notre Dame needs to just stop promoting guys to be their coordinators, and they actually have to go out and recruit and get the talent. So for as good as Marcus Freeman has been at recruiting players, he needs to start focusing on his coaching staff and building up that, and not giving us this vanilla, lukewarm play calling sheet that we're seeing with what was supposed to be a very good quarterback, who I think has been limited because of the play calling and the situations he's been put in.
To Marcus Freeman's credit, defense a little bit. This was
He tried. Yeah.
This was a Jack Swarbrick hire, and Swarbrick has been notorious for short paying coaches and in particular coordinators, and per a lot of reports, Parker wasn't even a guy that Freeman wanted on his staff. It just was more of a this is who you're getting sort of a situation. So maybe
in that regard, then the AD of a university needs to give the keys of the car to the coach and let them make those decisions too. So and I'm not faulting Freeman for that. I think they had the right plan in place. Money wasn't there, so he had to pivot. But moving forward, I think that we need to be past the point, because we saw it with Tommy Rees, where it was just like, oh yeah, Tommy Rees, he can be offensive coordinator. He couldn't. And so then we have the same thing going on now. And for a program that wants to reestablish itself as being someone that should be looked at for playoff contention down the road, then they need to start acting like it. And you do that by bringing in a bigger name than your tight end coach.
The one thing that is good for us, hopefully, maybe, is Jack Swarbrick is exiting Notre Dame as athletic director at the end of this year. He is retiring, so hopefully, maybe his replacement will have a deeper pocket. That's all we can hope. Because honestly, and as the more and more I thought about that and what what this offense has given us or not given us, especially this past weekend, until the administration decides they actually want to be a powerhouse, this is what's just going to continue to happen. So but definitely an ugly showing. That was Notre Dame's offensive offense was going to be one of my uglies.
And for a program that doesn't have the school has deep pockets. It's time we start shelling out the money if you want to compete with the big name programs, because they're not shy to spend money and make the flashy hires.
For sure. EJ, what was your ugly from this past weekend? The goddamn Giants.
I thought he was going to talk about his Patriots.
If I wasn't a strong-willed human being, man, I would have been an alcoholic right through the season. Seriously, this has been a fucking disaster of epic proportions.
Giving up on Jimmy Butler already. Oh, right. Huddle up. It's football.
Yeah, that's right. Get it right. Daniel Jones missed 3 weeks of football. Comes back. Does he last a quarter? He's out for the year now. This is probably a good thing at this point now.
Is it?
I mean, the Giants maybe win 2 more games the rest of the way.
I don't think they're favored in any game going forward this year. Honestly,
I mean,
I swear to God, I went to the schedule.
Win or two.
No.
But
There's
do they draft QB in the first round next year with that top 5 pick?
I hope so. I mean, that's a prayer. I mean, ownership may have a say in that too, also. And then I know that they might think, oh well,
gun to your head, EJ. Yes or no?
Oh, here you go. Are you gonna say that shit? They'll draft a quarterback. This is too deep a quarterback class. Eat the fucking $40 million in 1 more year, draft the quarterback, and then you let Jones go. After
eat the $40 million one more year. Miss the epic quarterback class, and then try to get in those pickings. Maybe Shedeur Sanders would be available, right, bitches?
Well, it depends
behind that fantastic O line of the Giants.
The way this season's going, they may have the first pick in the draft. And, so right now, the number 4, and I think right now in terms of position right now, Arizona, I think, is like number 2 or number 1.
Yeah, they're about to fuck that whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Kyler Murray's back. You don't think Carolina could find 2 or 3 more wins out of the bag between now and
here's
January?
a serious question, not to distract from how bad the New York Giants are.
I don't think anyone's gonna miss that, Jim.
We'll come back to that.
But like the Cardinals are showcasing Murray for a possible trade, right? Like there's no,
as I said
no
before you
good
started
reason for them to play him.
Excuse me, Jim, give yourself a "this guy gets it," please.
Okay, thank you.
This guy gets it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were all keenly aware of what the hell they're doing.
Matt, real quick, Giants schedule the rest of the year. Cowboys next week. They're not favored that one, obviously. Commanders on the road.
Win.
Not favored.
Red
Stop
Tails.
it. Home against the Patriots. Might be favored.
Maybe win.
Probably not. Maybe
They
that's
might win.
That's going to be a barn battle right there.
Packers at home. Not
They
favored.
might
Won't be
win
favored
that.
again. I doubt that. Saints on the road. They never beat the Saints on the road, even when they're good.
I mean, those past 3 games are
God, for your
coin
sake,
flips.
EJ, I hope they don't beat
The
Saints.
Eagles on the road. Maybe to win. We'll see what happens there. Kidding, of course. The Rams at home. Stafford's career is over probably at this point. We'll get that later.
Could be a win.
Maybe it's a win. Eagles at home. Resting
Possibly
guys.
a win.
Say I could possibly the last one, week 18.
Here's the problem with that, guys.
Possibly be
Your
a win.
quarterback is Danny DeVito. I'm sorry,
And?
Tommy DeVito. Sorry, Tommy DeVito. I apologize.
Might as well be. It's like they're twins.
Yeah. This team sucks out loud and in silence. Just saying. Disaster. But still coach of the year last year.
But they have the coach of the year, so he
Still
probably
coach of the year last
pull
year. Still, and I
3
still
wins out.
defend that take. I still defend it.
You can
And-
defend it all you
And
want.
It's still wrong.
Well, to your point though,
Get used to it.
Did
the
we
Associated.
No, shut up a minute. Did we voice act and do the sound bite at the same fucking
I believe you
time?
did.
That's what's up, EJ. You were
Well,
wrong in stereo,
Fine.
motherfucker.
I mean, you're wrong, but apparently the Associated Press agrees with me.
Oh yeah, because they've never gotten anything wrong.
That's how that works.
I'm just saying. I
Associated Press. It's
stand the wrong list, but
members of the press that vote. And it's members of the press that vote that we're all in the biggest market. Put your pen down. You know I'm right. You're going to have some witty bullshit retort and think you won the debate when you've lost again.
The press was so desperate for anything about that Giants team to be relevant.
What do you think the
that they
Giants were
just-
actually wow, I'm surprised you think that. Okay. Well, I mean,
It's more about the city as opposed to the team.
Correct.
I mean, the Yankees stink, the Mets suck, the Knicks suck.
But I feel like that doesn't apply in football. No, I agree that the East Coast bias thing is a real thing.
They just need something.
Apply.
But I feel like that doesn't apply to football as much as it does to
You're
other
just,
sports.
okay, you would think that you're just still wrong. The only anomaly I will give you is the way the LA doesn't give a fuck about football, generally speaking.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And by the way, all the people talking about Brandon Dayball should be fired after the year. Stop.
That is that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
Well, he was coach of the year last year. How do you fire him now?
Give him a 5-year.
See, Kyle said it. There you go.
He's not even 12 more months removed from that prestigious award.
Neither was Matt Nagy, motherfuckers. By the way, how's Eberflus doing? Anyway,
Yeah, he'd be gone too.
Kyle, what was your ugly from this past weekend?
well, at first I was gonna say it was EJ calling everything on the planet a must win, and then it hit me right here on this show. I was thinking about that. That's gonna be my ugly. And then I'm like, I can't say that because I understand now why EJ's an FSU fan. Everything from them right now is a must win because their schedule is such shit. Anyways, no,
You're not lying.
he ain't lying. My ugly is the Buffalo Bills have the highest ceiling when they're good, but when they're bad and they're bad consistently. It's not that I'm a Bills fan or anything like that, but just seeing them go hot and cold, I know we could pick things that are more simple. Granted, it didn't happen this week, but Patrick Mahomes II losing to the Denver Broncos with the flu would be a better example. But yeah, here I just that's where I'm at. That's where my brain's at. We'll have plenty of time to complain about the committee. That's a whole segment here on this show.
I was going to say we're about a minute and a half from that.
I did want to say even Rutgers blowing it to be my ugly. More on that later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a couple of games that possibly could have changed some landscapes a bit, but didn't pan out. My ugly from this past weekend, besides the one that Matt already covered, It's just more major injuries in the NFL, of course, that we touched on. Look, we obviously have fun with the Giants and how bad they are, but you never want to see a guy get hurt for the year. Danny Dimes out, Cam Akers out in Minnesota with the torn Achilles. So, and then I think there's a few others. But yeah, just more, another week, more major injuries. You always hate to see that.
Nothing about the boys, Jim.
I mean,
let them off the hook.
I mean, you can go to my Twitter. I've already covered the ugly and the bad and the horrendous. And
if he didn't refer to his Twitter every week, the ugly would be the refs, right? As said by the boy who called ref. Just saying.
Mike's ugly says the fraud con's finding a way to lose to a quarterback who took 0 snaps.
He's not wrong, but see, this is another opportunity for us to be praising Josh Dobbs, who does shit with nothing, and instead we're shitting on the other. Give this fucking guy some credit, please.
I mean, for the record, that was the NFL half of my good. I just went with the Washington Huskies because they beat USC. Because they beat USC.
Just fuck at USC, yeah, exactly.
You want to make like Caleb Williams crying again?
All right. Let's go to this. Obviously, each and every Tuesday night we get to talk about the playoff rankings as they are hot off the presses or hot off the steamer or whatever the hell you want to call it, depending on how you think about it. So let me get the graphic out of the middle of the screen there. We'll hit the top four. I don't think, based on what we got last week, I don't think there was any surprise. Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Michigan 3, and Florida State at 4. I mean, I know we talked about it on the simulcast a bit last week. We didn't think Ohio State was the number one team. Does anybody this week think Ohio State is the number one team in this country?
I feel more that they should have been number one team after this week.
Thank you, EJ. For Christ's sake, we kept getting preached to, well, the resume is the reason. And with all due respect to my 3 Irish fans here on the panel,
calm down.
They're even worse than they were Latin. Like they lost.
Right.
Miserably, with all due respect. They shouldn't be in the top 25, but for some fucking reason they are.
Money.
Okay, listen, Jim. This is twice you've gone with capitalism. You're throwing.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Well,
Jim, we've been over this before, Kyle.
Well, technically, you're attacking capitalism, so it does fit your woke Jim persona. Okay, carry on. But with all that in mind, Notre Dame as a flat thing is worse. What are we doing? What do we do? Now, people may be wondering, Kyle, why are you drinking wine tonight? Now, the real answer is I haven't had time to buy beer. But the other reason is it's more alcohol by volume to deal with this goddamn CFB. So there we go.
Yeah, if you want to put us to top 4, I'm okay with them top 4. But number 1, get the fuck out of here with that.
Should be 3.
Entire fuck out.
It should be number 3 at best.
Yeah, 3 at best. Again, if you want to argue Georgia and Michigan at 1 and 2, fine. But those 2 teams should be 1 and 2. But yeah, but again, as I've stressed every year we've gone over these, when it's week 1, week 2 of the rankings, these things are going to shake themselves out because the teams that currently the teams that currently sit at 1 and 3 play in 3 weekends. So,
but what they're just going to do is swap them. Once Michigan wins, they're giving a safety net to keep Ohio State in that top 4.
That won't happen. I guarantee that.
If you could kindly cue Rick Sanchez for me for Matt's take, Jim.
But I don't see.
This guy gets it.
Here's the thing about that, though, because when Michigan clobbers Penn State this weekend, that'll make the other Ohio State big win look worse. And depending on how the rest of the season shakes out, like Washington, Oregon, Texas, if they win out, Bama, if they win out. I mean, I know we're taking a big gamble talking about if Florida State wins out, but I think the scenario we saw last year with Ohio State slipping in like the back door that forgot to get locked.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Now, granted, we're basing this on projections and thoughts and how teams look and are playing at the moment. I don't know that it's going to be as easy for them to sneak
Agreed.
their way back in.
Agreed.
Man,
Agreed.
that Louisville loss is real unfortunate, Jim. Your Irish would have been in the conference championship against Florida State with a chance to make the playoff.
But they're not.
Jim, why bother? Why bother? Don't even bother. Don't answer this shit. No, seriously. If Florida State wins out, Michigan beats Ohio State, Georgia wins out, of course, Washington wins out. No way in fucking hell Ohio State is in the top 4. No way in hell.
They'll only have one loss though. At that
Doesn't matter.
Hold on.
If Washington wins out, they'd be undefeated.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Here's where this is all a very lucid, intelligent, well thought out objection. Overruled. Ohio State's still going to get in. Oh, well, they beat, let's say they fall to 15th Penn State. They beat number 15. And golly jeepers, they lost in a close one. Assuming it's close, Jim, I understand. They lost in a close one to that Michigan team. And golly jeepers, we should put them both in the top 4. And what's going to happen with Washington's concluded schedule, they're going to leapfrog Florida State. Your Knowles should be on the outside, and rightly so, is what you mean to say. And that'll
rightly so.
And that'll put Washington third rather, with Ohio State 4th against your Knowles, over your Knowles.
So you think that a one-loss Ohio State team without a playoff win,
if it's a close
or a conference, without a conference title, is going to be put in above a 13-0 Florida State team
you bet that entire ass it will.
I don't think it will happen.
Rightly so.
If it's a close
They
loss.
haven't played anybody but an LSU team that's been exposed as a team that only plays in the first half against anybody good. Yes, Brian Kelly jokes. Fine, Jim. But
hold on, I got something for you.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
No, I listened plenty. All I could hear about was my family.
Let me say to Kyle's point real quick, though. It's actually a good take because I don't trust the committee to do the right thing.
Thank you.
To your point. So I see what you're saying there. Do I think it'll happen? No, because I think Florida State.
Moron.
I think ultimately,
at the same time. What just happened?
I think ultimately the better record will come through. Like normally those scenarios play out if there are like multiple one-loss teams in a situation. You have an unbeaten team who did this job.
UCF and watched an undefeated team get fucked. Okay.
Oh, but when there was two teams that were going to the playoff, that's it, not 4.
No, sir, that was not in the era of the BSC.
Which year we're referring to?
I repeat, UCF was placed 12th behind a number of teams with losses when they were undefeated, including.
But you know why, though, right? Because they didn't take UCF seriously because they were not a major.
And
school.
what they said was their schedule.
Florida State, though, is a major school. Therefore, they'll probably get more
trust. I think you're beginning to realize that in the way things are shaking down now, the ACC doesn't hold the weight that it used to. No point. They have plenty of on the committee that will prop them. That's your one hope.
My interest right now, though, Jim, I know it's not really the top 6 thing here. I'm eyeballing Alabama. I'm eyeballing Alabama a lot now because
why?
Joe Class a thing on the show. What's an over
and lose, and then it doesn't matter. Like,
I mean, they look better at the last couple weeks. They look much better.
That's fine. You're going to lose to Georgia, though.
Possibly, I put Georgia as definitely in that game.
They're going to lose to Georgia.
What's the line though here? Top 8 are not real contenders. Top 8 teams. Top 9. What's the line?
I would say, yeah. I mean, obviously, if Ole Miss would somehow upset Georgia, they're going to enter the conversation. Yeah, more on that in a minute.
Right. So,
but I think looking at it right now, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Washington, and then the top 4 are the only teams that have anything hoping of an argument. I'm almost.
I take Texas that seriously at this point,
but they're in a position though to.
I'll say they're in the driver's seat. Yeah, they obviously they need. They need Pac-12 teams to lose. They need Ohio State to slip up beyond just Michigan.
They need to win the conference first.
Well, right. I mean, but they
will.
they are in the driver's seat where they win out. I mean, yeah, they need help above them, but like
I was gonna say, a driver's seat that features beating Washington or Oregon. Like, I'm in a fucking Pinto, guys. That's what I'm telling you.
I hate to say this too. Also, let me ask this question. I'm gonna ask anyway. They suck out loud, obviously, but there is a trick for Penn State also to get in this thing too, right?
No,
they win this weekend.
No.
If they win this weekend against Michigan,
no,
shut your ass.
If they beat Michigan this weekend, they won't.
No.
But no. But
No.
okay, you say
No.
that.
no,
No.
no,
No.
no,
Okay, you did this shit to be.
no.
You did this shit to the Niners and Browns. Never happened. So stop that, okay?
Yeah, and you didn't have the balls to actually pick it. So
I said,
Penn State?
no, hell no. But I'm saying,
Okay, then
if
what are
they
you
do,
doing here?
but listen, but what I'm asking here, if Penn State somehow,
No.
some way beats fucking Michigan,
No.
does that open a?
So,
That's what I'm saying.
No,
EJ, why do you think I'm trying to silence you so much? It isn't because I think you're wrong.
we're trying to save you from yourself.
No,
I'm not picking them.
I'm trying to keep it out of the fucking universe so it won't happen. You
But just
breathe
still
this
gotta play the
bullshit
game.
in the general direction of the committee, and it might.
But
But
Kyle, to my
you
point about
still have to play
Texas,
the game,
I
though.
understand they have Washington, Oregon sitting above them. Oregon plays USC, Arizona State, Oregon State, and then a Pac-12 title game. Washington plays Utah, Oregon State, Washington State, and then a Pac-12 title game. Like, there's potential for slip up for both of those teams,
Mhm.
right? And then they play each other in a
Mhm.
Pac-12 title game,
So one is
where like one over the so like let's say Washington slips up against Oregon State next week, and then Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12 title game. Like they're both kind of out of the picture then. Or what if Oregon slips up along the way and then beats? Yeah. So Texas, I mean, obviously they have to win out. Anybody in these top 8 positions, theoretically speaking, or at least outside of the top 3, those teams need to win out. Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, they need to win out.
Let me ask this question. I'm glad you said that. Which of these top teams here, say the top 5 teams, can afford to lose a game and still feel like they can still get in? I think Kyle's Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Right. Naeem, Georgia.
I mean,
possibly Georgia if they lose in the SEC championship game. Possibly.
I mean,
But that all
possibly
depends what happens to
Michigan
Oregon,
if
too.
it's a close loss to Ohio State and Ohio State wins the Big Ten.
Okay.
Those are your 3.
I agree.
But here's my point though too, Kyle, to Florida State over Ohio State. Because like I understand your point of them of the ACC not being good. Okay. Like I get it. I get it. I do. Okay. But like the committee will point to resume of what the win looked like against LSU when they did it, because I mean the Notre Dame
another one after that is my point.
the Notre Dame win for Ohio State is still holding water somehow.
And Penn State, right?
So if Florida State wins out, then they are going to play and probably beat a team that is currently ranked 11th. Okay. So despite all of your thoughts and feelings and how terrible the ACC is, and I'm not telling you you're wrong about it,
He's correct.
but this committee is telling us that Louisville is the 11th best team in the country. Okay. So and
wrongly so.
Right. But okay. Louisville plays Virginia, the U, and Kentucky to close out the year. Those are all games they're probably going to win, right?
I mean,
Kentucky's in the year, but yeah.
But
I don't know.
So they're probably going to win all of those games. Well, let's take a look and let's see who's above them. Penn State's about to lose. Ole Miss is about to lose. Alabama could trip up. Texas, they're bound to Texas, right? Like Washington and Oregon, like, so there's a pathway for Louisville to get into this top 10.
But
absolutely, no question.
And then Florida State will win a conference title, something that if Michigan beats Ohio State can't do.
Right.
And Florida State will do such against a team that will be what, 8th in the country, 7th in the country.
Allegedly.
Rightly or not, that's a top 10 conference title win when Ohio State's sitting at home eating leftovers, man.
Jim, I'll go further, Jim.
No, hold on. I can
okay.
already retort that because the committee time and again, and you hate it when I bring this up, but I have precedent on my side, Jim. The committee has constantly shown they value a quality loss over a bullshit win any day of the week.
How does he win over a conference win over a top 10 opponent?
See, but you're getting there. They have 2 wins in their entirety. Okay, with Ohio State. If they now, granted,
have 2 wins in their resume,
right? Here's the one. Please, here's your best argument. You've kind of you mentioned it, but I don't think you gave it enough weight. What will keep Ohio State out is getting slapped twice with 2 opportunities and 2 cracks at the Big Ten champion. That's the only thing that could keep them out.
When's their second opportunity against the Big Ten champion?
The conference. Well, for one, they're going to play Michigan during the season, and theoretically, they would battle again in the conference championship.
No, that's not how the Big Ten works. The Big Ten still plays in their divisions.
You're fucked. If Ohio State ends up in a position where the only loss is Michigan, who they didn't get a second crack at because they're still at this bullshit division setup that they have, that's going to keep enough doubt in the mind of the committee to wave up. And listen, I love your point about the conference win being what it is. But Ohio State's also beaten Notre Dame. That's the reason why that doesn't hold water. The reason why Louisville's that high is because of that Notre Dame win. And obviously some active fucking athletic directors on the committee as well. The only reason Louisville's that high is Notre Dame.
Right.
So,
and
they have Notre Dame on their resume already. That's why that's not going to hold water. I love your theory until we get to that point.
And for the record, Louisville will be in top 10 next week. When they win this week, Penn State loses they'll be in top 10. So yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean,
again, I don't agree that Louisville's a top 10 team, but they'll be there, and that's why Florida State, as an undefeated conference champion, would get in over a 1-loss Ohio State team. I'll say it now.
Yeah.
You want to top? That's not fence sitting, is it? They'll get in.
No. Good job, Jim. I'm loving this.
They will get in over Ohio State.
I hope you're right. I would love an opportunity to high five EJ about the Seminoles in a way I haven't in a long fucking time, because he's promised he's going to hang out with me here soon, allegedly.
Oh yeah, we're working on that.
So we'll get the high five in, and I would have never high fived a dude so hard in my life to celebrate the Seminoles. My dad will turn in his fucking grave. Well, maybe not, because he hates Ohio State that much too, or hated. All
right, catching up on the comments here before we go past the playoff rankings. Mike says if Washington runs the table, he thinks they should jump Florida State, and
they should jump it now.
And rightly so.
Yeah, they
should.
And
I'm an old fan saying that.
Number 4 team, like if we're being totally honest about it. But to my point, the committee values the ACC for some reason, so that's going to help me later on.
Jim, they have the ADs. Jim, you know the fucking reason.
Jim, they're
not going to change by the end of the year when Florida State can over Ohio State.
Jim, they have right now the best win right now, individual win of the year right now, Washington over Oregon.
Yeah.
He's not
wrong. Agreed.
And I'm a Noles fan saying this shit. So imagine
Mike says his top
your feelings, Noler.
Mike says his top 4 is Michigan, Georgia, Washington, Ohio State.
I like it.
That's much better than what the committee served out.
I would have thought 3 and 4 was no big deal. But
and an interesting devil's advocate question from Mike. He said, if Bama wins out, beats Georgia in the SEC title game, does a 1-loss Georgia get in over Florida State?
Yes.
Probably.
That's very possible.
I think that is much more likely to happen than
Ohio State
getting in over.
Oh, I'll agree with that statement, Jeff.
Yeah,
100%.
For sure, absolutely, without question. Guys, any other thoughts on the college
Why the fuck is Iowa at 22?
Well,
anyway,
that's
Auburn 21.
Kyle, did you not see they scored an actual offensive touchdown last week?
No,
happened.
Nobody watched.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe that happened, Matt.
I think I read it somewhere. It has to be true, right?
Nice. I read it on the internet. It must be true. I do enjoy that two things. A, that Kansas State is still in the top 25 because of the valiant effort of Texas. Texas should have fallen more than they did, which is none at all. And I like that Tulane is ranked where they are at 23.
I do like it.
It's been a fun season, though, college. I'll tell you that. Very fun season.
It has been a fun. It has
It
been a
was a
fun.
2-yard touchdown pass Iowa had.
I don't believe it. I don't.
Pass?
Nope, you're lying.
And for the record, I'm still pissed at you guys, Notre Dame, for not closing the deal against Ohio State. Fucking why? God damn it. Anyway,
They're pissed about it too, EJ. You're not helping.
Yeah, I'm
thanks
thrilled
for
about
kicking
it.
us in the fucking pills while we're
You know
still
what?
reeling from this weekend.
That's gonna make Florida State's loss to the U that much sweeter this weekend because I'm
Gotta
gonna
say,
rub
everything
it in
I
your face
just argued
rest of the season.
ain't gonna matter anyway.
Be like,
All right,
EJ, I'm so pissed about that Miami
You're just
win.
riling
hey
up
Jim,
conference rivals there, EJ. What are you doing?
Jim, fuck you, Matt, fuck you, Kyle, love you. Next one, let's go.
All right, let's go to the college football games this weekend. We start big noon Saturday on Fox. It is number 3 Michigan, 9-0, and a 4-point favorite. I checked that a couple of times because I didn't believe it. At number 10, Penn State, who is 8-1. 46 is your over/under on this one. Matt, we'll start with you.
I mean, I got to do it, Jim.
You know we're gonna see you tomorrow, right? Like you're doing this.
I've got to.
You got to stay on
It's
brand.
the lesser of two evils, in my
Is it?
opinion.
Is it?
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
All right. You got your house. I got mine. That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'm taking Michigan.
Well done, sir. Well done.
To the couch, Matthew.
Over under 46.
I'll take the under on that as well. I think Michigan's defense is going to shut down Penn State. A slight.
Smart play. Kyle?
Listen, I don't think you're crediting the bitch slapping that's about to happen here. Give me Harbaugh and the boys. Give me the over. And I'm expecting a defensive score.
Maybe more. EJ?
I mean, what if Penn State wins? What if?
Stop it.
Bitch ass.
That being said, hell no.
I wouldn't be mad at it, EJ. Not at all.
I know this is just reaction next week. Yeah,
you would come in from the couch for 1 and 2. Like they said.
That being said, no, seriously, definitely Michigan in a blowout, and I'm gonna take the over also, like Kyle did.
Slight over?
Not slight. A big
Getting bold. Get off that fence, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Look, Michigan is covering 4. Michigan would cover 30 in this game, I think. And I'm taking the over because Michigan might score more than 46 themselves. I think they are going to just pummel the shit out of this Penn State team.
Yeah.
And everybody else, at least until we get to Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And rightly
It's in
so.
Happy Valley, right?
Hit the clat.
And rightly so.
Get
Is
that
it in
shirt.
Happy Valley?
Yeah, it's at Penn State.
Jim's going to come in saying, who's got it better than us?
Nobody. All right. Mike has Michigan and the under. That's bold. All right. Number 18, Utah. They are 7-2. At number 5, Washington, who is 9-0, 9.5 point favorite. 53.5 is your over under Saturday, 3:30 on Fox. Matt, go ahead.
Give me Washington to cover. I'll take the over.
All right. Kyle.
Yeah, I'm going to match Matt here. I really wish I'd have one more week before it was these two teams that battled. I wanted to ride the wave of being the Ute lawyer for once instead of being the lawyer that mispronounced youths.
I blame you.
I do, Jim. It's your fucking fault. But no, I'm with Matt on this one. Washington, Wolf, and the over.
EJ.
Yeah, definitely Washington cover, and it's Pac-12 football, man. Give me over.
Yeah, Washington plus over. Sorry, Devin. It was Devin at Michigan in the under. I said Mike. My bad. Yeah, Mike now adds Michigan, and they score more than 46 themselves.
He agrees with you? Okay.
All right. Number 13. If I didn't say Washington with the points and over for sure. Yeah. Mike agrees. Number 13, Tennessee. They are 7-2 and a 1-point favorite at number 14, Missouri, who is 7-2. 58.5 is your over under Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. Kyle, go ahead.
Am I the only one who's struggling with Michigan, or excuse me, Missouri, not Michigan. Sorry, Jim. Don't get your wife after me. Mizzou being this good?
It's strange, man. They
It is weird.
They put up a fight against Georgia, man.
Sure
They
did.
truly did too. Like,
And
it's
against
not just,
LSU.
golly jeepers, good job, guys. Like, no, it was scary for a moment there. But with all that being said, I believe playing the role of Janet Jackson this weekend will be Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers, and they will be voluntold to sit that ass down. I have Missouri
play to win the game.
and
that one.
the Tigers will do that, considering the other coach in the Tiger family isn't a factor this week. I'm going to go with Mizzou. It's going to be the under.
Jim, that soundbite, by the way, is incorrect. You don't play to win the game. You play to get intel on your opponents for the next time you play them.
Play to win the game.
That's, according to Michael Irvin, that's apparently.
Because Skip gave a thank you, like everyone knows this.
I don't know what is fucking worse, the Cowboys on Sunday or the idiots on Monday and Tuesday after. I don't know what's fucking worse for me. EJ, Tennessee and Missouri.
Give me Mizzou to win this, and give me the under.
Yeah, man. I mean, Tennessee ranked higher. Don't really know why, but Missouri, absolutely. After the showing they had against Georgia, coming back home, give me them to win this game. I'll take a slight over. On this one. Mike says they are the only 10 I see. Ooh,
no,
that felt like an EJ joke. And the under. Devin has Tennessee and the over. All right, let's go.
EJ drinking his tea from the student of the game mug. Then I did that pud. Mike,
there you go.
So you know.
Number 9, Ole Miss.
I didn't pick that one yet.
What's that?
I didn't pick that one yet.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
But I don't know anything about Tennessee, so give me Mizzou and the over.
Love it. Number 9, Ole Miss. They are 8-1. At number 2, Georgia, who is, of course, 9-0, and an 11-point home favorite. 59 is your over-under on this one. Saturday, 7 o'clock, ESPN. EJ, go ahead.
Georgia continues to dominate. Give me Georgia cover, and give me a slight under.
Matt.
I'll take Georgia to cover. I will take the over, and this will finally get the committee to wake up and realize that Ohio State's not their number 1 team.
Yeah.
Nice. Kyle.
That might be the most optimistic thing I've ever heard Matt say.
This is true.
Fuck. Listen, let me be clear. I can say this. EJ did defend Cintiq here by picking Georgia and the points. I will not. I don't think Georgia will take Ole Miss seriously enough. I think they stay within the 11 points. Give me the
wow. I like it.
I actually like it too. I actually like. We've talked about Georgia, and are they as good as they were last year? Don't think so. And like they have struggled at times against worse opponents. Yeah, this may be one of those ones where you start to get into that fourth quarter time and you're going,
oh,
that just happened? Yeah.
Just gonna
hang around here. Yeah.
And then I think Ole Miss might blink and miss, and and they might flinch, and that's where Georgia gets the win. But yeah, I like Ole Miss to cover the 11. Give me the under on this one. Not by a lot, but give me a little bit of.
I could see them being up by 6, and then maybe a pick 6 late in the game.
Yeah, something just one of those critical mistakes sort of things. Mike has the dogs and the over. Devin has Georgia and the under. And then this one, I had it on the sheet because they were ranked in the AP poll. They did not get ranked in the playoff, but we'll pick it anyway. 7-3 USC at number 6 Oregon, who's 8-1. 15 point favorite, 73.5. It's your over under. That's our big fun score. 10:30 Eastern time on Fox. Matt, go ahead.
Give me Oregon. Give me them to cover the over by themselves against that lack of defense at USC.
All right, Kyle.
I got scared to pick an over at 78 last week with Michael Penix and Caleb Williams. I'm not making that fucking mistake again. Give me the over and whatever it is, USC to win.
You mean Oregon to win?
Or thank you.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on, stop the presses.
I said it backwards. My bad. It's a Knicks bow.
Yeah, to Kyle's point. After last week, I learned that any over under that's low 70s is too low.
Bro, Stanford and Colorado went over 100.
Yeah, like I said. So so obviously the way over. Give me Oregon though to win this and cover as well.
It's the opposite of a slight is a way. Got it.
Yeah. Hammer the over. Also hammer Oregon over the 15-point spread. They're gonna beat this USC team up. So And rightly so.
So
line them up, baby.
All right, now let's go. Devin had Oregon in the over. All right, before we get into the NFL games this week, I know on your show, EJ with the Student Game Report, Kyle, I know with you and Mikey on your show tomorrow, are going to do your midseason grades. So let's do it. I'm not going to go full midseason grades, over unders, any of that stuff, but let's look at the playoff picture in the NFL as we stand right now. So in the AFC, we have the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Jags, and the Dolphins sitting in the division champion seats. We have Steelers, Browns, Bengals as your wild card teams. Of course, the Chiefs would have the bye there. In the NFC side, Eagles, of course, in the number 1 spot. Lions, 49ers, Saints as your other division leaders. Seahawks, Cowboys, Vikings as your other playoff teams in the NFC. Let's start on the contender side. Out of the teams that in the AFC that are sitting in a playoff spot when we finish the second half of the season, what teams, and I even say outside of Chiefs, Ravens, and probably Jaguars, I think those are probably locks at this point. I don't think anybody's going to be afraid about locking them in.
Well, I don't know about locking the division for the Ravens just yet, but definitely
not necessarily division, but playoffs for sure.
Playoffs.
Out of the rest of those teams, Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, who's definitely getting into the playoffs?
Bengals. And we should be answering. I'm speaking for the committee when I say the Bengals.
Yeah. I'm locked. Okay, so in terms of man, I'm gonna go first. Go ahead.
Who else on that would I lock in? I would lock in the Dolphins.
Okay.
For a playoff spot. Maybe not the East, but I think that they'll be a playoff team.
Yeah, if we're talking playoffs, forget divisions, all that stuff. Obviously,
we're talking playoffs.
So Casey's obvious. The 2 seeds, the Ravens, they're a lock in the
Ravens
playoffs.
are currently the 2.
Jags are lock at 3. Dolphins to me a lock at 4. The wild cards when it gets really fucking interesting. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Bengals, I'm locking them up. Locking them up no matter what. Whether they win division, they come back with division, or they get wild card, they're getting in. That's it. I'm not locking Wilson in the AFC. I had the Steelers as a 5 seed before the year started, but the way they've gotten there this year is not. I'm not so confident.
You wouldn't be the first
They're finding ways to win games, though.
Yeah,
they always do.
You want to bet against Mike Tomlin? You do that. I've only been brave enough to do it once, and I just happened to be right, and it was his fault for not starting Kenny Pickett.
I'll say this much: between the Browns and the Steelers, I have more faith in the Steelers getting in. So I'll put Steelers asterisk. You don't
have to make them a lock yet, though. Nobody's
right.
I mean,
I'm just asking teams that we think.
I guess the question, it goes back to what we said earlier on the podcast about Buffalo and their chances because of the schedule. Like, if not the Steelers, if not the Browns, who climbs into that spot that's below 7? Buffalo is a contender, obviously. You have Houston going in there? They're in the mix. The Chargers, they're in the mix.
Are you prepared to rule out the Texans? I'm not.
They're in the 9 spot right now. I'm not ready to lock them out.
CJ Stroud right now is probably a low-key MVP candidate right now.
Stop.
If they're gonna do it, I'm talking now. If they're gonna play this year,
Rookie of the year, yes. I'll say MVP, no, because I think there's other guys who are going to block him out of that spot.
If Russell Carrington Wilson couldn't get a goddamn MVP leading his team in passing and ground yardage in Seattle in 2017, CJ Stroud is not going to get
but
MVP.
They missed the playoffs that year. I'm talking about if Houston
Who
gets
gives
in the playoffs.
a shit?
Right.
He wasn't even in the conversation
if
in week
CJ
16 before they were actually eliminated in week 17.
But
So that's why the point doesn't hold, EJ.
But again, Kyle, if the Houston Texans, who were the worst team in football for the last 2 years, get into the playoffs for next year with C.J. Stroud.
No, that's just actually
with his numbers too.
Well, actually, no, it's not. I'll put it this way: there's still time for him to be a candidate.
Thanks, EJ. Now you're costing us viewers. Ryan says he's turning this off because
it's the wrestling, Ryan. You don't know anything about football. Get out of here, Philly eye. Just kidding. Hey, birthday, buddy. Hey, birthday, buddy.
Ryan did have an interesting question or interesting thought on this. He says he's locking the division for the Miami Dolphins.
I would. I agree with him. 100%.
Good.
100%.
You know what? Looking at the Steelers' schedule, I'm locking the Steelers into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what they got.
100%.
Jim, the reason I haven't playoffs for your start is because of the schedule. To Matt's point. So yeah, I'm with him.
I kind of agree with Mike. He would still lose to Lamar, Burrow, Hurts.
Here's the problem with that though.
Tyreek Hill.
But here's the problem he has going for it now. The numbers: 14 touchdowns, 1 pick so far. If that ratio plays out still to the end of the year,
he's not gonna be MVP.
Just saying.
Now, Steelers do have a besides 2 games against the Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens to close the year. There's a lot of wins. There's still Packers, Browns, Cardinals, Patriots, Colts. Yeah, there's
I need to see Deshaun Watson play better.
But listen, with the Steelers, nothing's a lock. You got to remember, because Kenny Pickett throws them into games and throws them out of games. And if he gets hurt again and they have to go to Trubisky, they got real problems, as demonstrated.
Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is.
That
with the Browns, though, if I knew Deshaun Watson was playing better, I feel better about the Browns' chances of locking him up. But because he hasn't been good this year at all, I can't quite go there this year.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to lock the Steelers. I don't think I'm ready to lock the Browns into a playoff spot. Steelers likely to get in, but I'm definitely not locking them. Obviously, we don't have the full standings up on this screen. Who would you guys say in the AFC is the most likely team who's sitting outside the playoffs right now to get in? Is it the Texans?
I still say Buffalo only because of the fact that they are the better team of the bunch outside. But of course, the schedule becomes the issue. That's the issue. If you're asking me of the
30 minutes ago, gun to your head, you said no, they don't make the playoffs.
because that's my preseason prediction. But the problem is,
who's sitting on the fence now, motherfucker?
I'm just saying.
In the name of not
to make the playoffs, but they're gonna make the playoffs.
In the name of not sitting on the fence, you got to take the Jets seriously because of that defense. Period. I don't think they will, but they're a threat. The answer is the Bills. Whether EJ wants to admit it or not, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But they did lose that must-win game last Sunday night, right, Jim?
Very true.
That is right.
I will say the other team, probably the Chargers. The big win last night. I said last night they didn't win that game last night.
You're not wrong, but damn it, it's so hard for me to take them seriously anymore.
EJ, but you're the guy that
Especially
says
with
the
that
coach never
problematic
get the wins, and now you're putting him in the playoffs. Come on,
I'm saying the schedule. That's all. They have to.
I don't care what's on the schedule. Your guy Staley could still blow it.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Ryan, not necessarily to the point about Josh Allen, because I still have my question marks about him, but I think Buffalo absolutely misses the playoff.
Well, to your point, I haven't missed before the year started. But
you just said they're going to be in.
No. I said if of the teams likely to make it outside, who could make a jump, that'll be the team I would.
I'm on this side, and now I'm on this side.
So you're telling me that the Bills are going to be more likely than your MVP candidate, CJ Stroud, and the Texans?
Want to look at the Texans schedule?
That's what he's saying.
I got the Bengals coming up this week. Must win.
Another game against the Jags coming up, right, guys? You know,
we went over the Bills schedule earlier, so I'm not going to do that again. Looking at the Jets, they have Raiders, Bills, Dolphins, Fraud Cons, Texans, Dolphins, Commanders, Browns, Patriots. There's winnable games there. A lot of games for the Jets.
Texans game not winnable.
I still got them going to the playoffs, motherfucker. I said it when Rodgers went down, so I can't abandon them now.
That was Jim. I gave you a hard time, but I'm amazed with what.
Plus, Rodgers is going to be back.
He's rubbing ayahuasca on his Achilles. He's still possibly coming back.
Won't be that guy.
I'm just saying. I don't know what he's injecting ayahuasca or something into his ankle, whatever. But you know,
I see Ryan's comment. This is why I wear these during the show. EJ's flip flops. There you go. Okay.
I mean, he loves politics as much as he loves sports.
Relax.
Don't be rude.
The Texans have they're at Cincinnati this weekend, and then Arizona, Jacksonville, Denver, Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans, Colts. There's a lot of winnable games on that schedule for the Texans, man.
But they got to do it, though. They also have to do it and have to – you got to trust them to do it also, too.
You also
Young
have to
team.
be oxygen. Yes, EJ, we're aware of that.
So.
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, for all the trash I talk, EJ, I have to repeat this compliment. You are, without a doubt, the best Trump impression from a black man I've ever seen. It's
Terrific job.
China.
All right, let's look at the NFC side. Out of the teams that are currently in the playoffs, I think we can safely lock Eagles, Niners, Lions. Right?
No. The Eagles lose 9 straight. They're out of the playoffs. They're done. 8 straight, not in the playoffs. because fuck you, Ryan. Fuck you, Matthew.
Shut your ass.
So Eagles, Niners.
Crazy
Lions.
that they could. I mean, they can't. I guess lose 9 straight since they have 9 games left on the schedule.
I'll say
But
8-9
because math, bitches.
They could do that and still finish with a better record than the Giants.
Because but the thing is they lose their Giants too. Because losing their Giants at home will cost you 2 losses alone. That's why. Key point.
I think that's how that works. Yeah,
that's a fine point, actually.
We math in here on Huddle Up Podcast. We math in here.
Are there any other teams that you guys want to lock into a playoff spot in the NFC outside of those 3?
Outside of the Eagles, Niners,
and Niners.
I want to lock the Saints.
I'll agree with that, just because of how bad the rest of that division is.
You know what? I'll screw it. I'll lock the Seahawks. I'm gonna do it.
I'll agree. I'll even agree with that.
If Kirk Cousins was healthy, I lock all 7 of these teams right now.
Can we fucking go with that shit?
Dead serious.
Josh Dobbs, they got a better shot than with coupons. That's what I'll say. So this is why you think it's stupid.
Honestly, though, look at the
I'm lying. I think
real talk though, and this is why I think Jim's all Dallas things is ridiculous as hell. At this point with the NFC, the Cowboys can go 8-9, best of both worlds. Kyle gets his prediction correct, 8-9, and they still go to playoffs because of the fact that the NFC is so fucking bad below Minnesota. I'm almost at a point now where I'm really, even with Josh Dobbs, locking all 7 of these teams because look below the NFC, below Minnesota. You trust in Washington? The Rams are the one team I was saying, oh, maybe, but they just lost Stafford.
Atlanta, they're frauds. Anyways,
that's true.
Just saying.
Tampa Bay sucks. Green Bay sucks. Then you get to the Rams, Giants, Bears, Panthers, Cardinals.
So at this point, I'm locking all 7 teams.
Okay.
I'm mad at that. That's not your worst take, bro. I mean,
all right. Let's look at this
for Josh Dobbs and then tell you no here.
So outside of the current 4 division leaders and the Seahawks, right? And if we're eliminating Atlanta and everybody else on down,
including the Giants,
that leaves Washington, who's currently in the 8th spot, to take it away from either the Cowboys or the Vikings. Okay, that's where we're.
Jesus Christ!
That's where we're at.
A lot more compelling.
That's where the NFC sits right now. Okay, so the Cowboys' remaining schedule is Giants, Panthers, Commanders, Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders.
They'll get 3 wins out of that, guaranteed. Still in the playoffs. Still in the playoffs.
It's only 3.
8 and 9. Still in the playoffs.
Okay, so 3 would get you to 8 and 9. The Vikings, who are 5 and 4, so they still have a bye week coming up at some point. The Vikings have the Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions. Now, granted, week 18 against the Lions, how much are they playing for?
Exactly.
Right?
Jim, at this point, the only 2 teams, if we believe that Stafford injury is a real thing, because Carson Wentz got signed today by the Rams.
I mean, all reports say that the Rams are on a bye this week. All reports have Stafford returning after the bye week.
Even so,
the Wentz signing is for their backup. They cut Brett Rippon today.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part.
Carson Wentz is the new backup.
Okay, that part I didn't see. I didn't see the Rippon part. That being said, Rams bringing 6. After this week, I'm pretty much out on the Rams. The only 2 teams that can even have a chance of leapfrogging the Vikings and or Dallas, depending on how you figure the 7th seed going forward, is Washington and Atlanta. That is it. That is it.
So here is Washington's schedule, since we're talking about them. Seattle, Giants, Cowboys, Dolphins, Rams, Jets, Niners, Cowboys.
They're fucked.
That's not the easiest road.
No, Giants only guarantee win there.
Yeah, no, actually, no. EJ's right. They're
fucked.
Yeah, that hurts. There's a lot of pain on that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
There's two definite wins, right? Just two, the Giants and the Rams.
And even the Rams game, and even the Rams could be 50-50 because of the Stafford playing.
All right, and then the fraud cons have Cardinals, Saints, Jets, Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears, Saints.
So Atlanta is the team that
they suck. They suck, but so does that schedule.
And Taylor Heineke's back at quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the fraud cons are more in play than
the
Washington.
Washington.
And so and I can't believe I'm going to say this in the year of our Lord 2023. But even at 8-3, EJ might be right about the Cowboys. Or even at 8-9, EJ might be right about the Cowboys.
That's because he's a homer. He said that.
Didn't I tell you the text that 8 was the match number in the NFC?
Yeah, I didn't dig into it enough to realize how fucking bad the conference really was.
Yeah,
it stinks. So yeah, that is our playoff look. Yeah, AFC definitely is the more intriguing of the bunch as we head over the second half of the year. Of course, we will obviously pick all of those things.
Fun. Football's fun. God,
it's the best and the worst at the same time.
Yes,
I mean,
it
of course you think football is fun. Your Heat season is over, so
this is true. Good job, Vaughn.
All right, let's go to Week 10 in the National Football League. Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, Eagles are your buys this week. Our full 4 slate of games, guys, because the NFL doesn't have the fucking balls to move one of these games into the night slot. We get Jets and Raiders on Sunday night. Have you looked at the primetime games?
Did you Thursday night's game? Oh my God.
The NFL schedule this week for primetime games is terrible. Like,
not according to one Ernest DJ Christian who argued with the mad scientist that it was not that bad besides one game.
No, I said that the Bills Broncos has some intrigue to it though.
These are your Week 10 primetime games Thursday night on Prime Video.
Oh God, this one's a whole.
You gotta pay extra for this. That's what she said. The Panthers at the Bears. Okay. Sunday night, Jets at the Raiders, and then Monday, Broncos at the Bills. So
Jets,
hold on.
Just Raiders a playoff game.
You got to do the sound bite, Jim.
Which one?
I mean, on Monday night, it's the Bills hosting who?
The Denver Broncos.
Thank you.
So Matt, the reason why I defended the other 2 games though, Raiders, Jets, playoff positioning in there. They're both right in the mix of the wild card spot.
Excuse me, can you please cue Dwayne Johnson?
Shut up, bitch.
Just saying, they're both in the playoff hunt. Okay.
Did you add you smoke crack, don't you?
Oh, I forgot to add that.
Shit. But the wife
we could go with Colin Cowherd if you don't mind, Jim.
Oh, yes.
Don't do math.
There we go.
I just said my wife and I made plans Thursday night to watch a JFK documentary on Disney because I'm not watching Carolina and fucking Chicago on Thursday. We're watching JFK.
Brutal. Awful. Just awful. Why do you do this to us, Roger? Why? Anyway, Sunday.
Because you'll still watch it. That's why.
It's not wrong.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it.
Fantasy.
I don't even think I have fantasy implications. No, I have Adam Thielen. I lied.
I'd rather watch my fantasy app. All right, I got a 1/10 of a point.
You could always check out the Pro Sports Fans app if you're looking at anything with the Jaguars. Just saying.
Hey Jim, thank God for 3CT on Thursday, right? Yeah.
Dude, you're not kidding. Every single fucking week. All right, let's look Sunday 1:00 on CBS. It is the 4-4 Texans. Hello, playoff implications, right? At the 5-3 Bengals, who are a 7-point home favorite. 48 is your over/under on this one. EJ, go ahead.
The Texans right now are the definition of frisky, but not this week, man. The Bengals were on fire. Give me the Bengals to cover 6.5 points, and I'll take the under.
All right, Kyle.
Definition of frisky.
4-4, man.
I did appreciate that too, man. You got a point. But listen, the corporate America would have you believe that the term frisky is associated with cats. I have the Bengals in this one as well. All of the above that EJ said.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, give me the Bengals. Give me the over.
Yeah, Texans have a lot of winnable games. This one, not it. Bengals win this one. I think they even go over that 7 points. And I will take an over though in this one. Ooh. All right, then we go to Sunday, also 1 o'clock. This one on Fox. The 5-4 Saints are a 2.5 point road favorite at Josh Dobbs's Vikings. Right? There's no way they don't play him. Right? Like there's just no way. The Vikings 5-4, 41's your over under on this one. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're going to start Dobbs, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. I believe the Saints have a better defense, and the Vikings defense is bad enough that you'll see minimal mistakes in quarterback play from the Saints. Hard as that might be to believe, but yeah, give me the Saints. Not, I believe you said the Saints were favored. Did you not, Jim?
Yeah,
yes, they are.
That's what I thought. Okay, give me the coverage. Also, keep me at the under. In that case.
All right, Matt.
I will take the over on this one, and I'm going to take the Vikings outright.
Ooh. EJ.
Kyle's a point about that, though, but I'm going to ride the Vikings train here. Give me the Vikings to win outright. Give me shut up. Give me the also, Matt, give me the slight over. Slight over.
I hear you there because 42 is a slight over.
Yeah.
Look, EJ, I get it. You wanted to lock the Vikings incorrectly.
He's committed, yes.
You're committed. You're
also
it's like me with my Lions and me with my Jets.
I also love the story too. The Josh Dobbs story.
I get it. I don't fault you, man. I get it. I'm locked into fucking Zach Wilson and the Jets, man. I get it.
Damn Jets.
That's your own peril, buddy.
I can't fault you. I can't even fault you, bro.
Goddamn Jets.
I can't fault you.
It was the Lions last year, right, buddy?
Yep.
It was. They were so close.
So close.
Panthers in week 15. They fucking got them.
That's the game. Yep.
Nope. Saints win. I almost did it, but I can't. Do it.
For
Saints to win. They covered 2.5 and give me the under. All right, Sunday 1 o'clock on Fox. It is the 5-3. I think both these teams fresh off of a bye, right? Niners.
Correct.
That's correct. Jim.
5-3 49ers. 3-point road favorite at the 6-2 Jaguars. 46 is your over under on this one. Matt, we'll go to you first.
Is Brock back this week?
He's been back.
Kyle?
It's my understanding that he is.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know he was back, but then he got hurt again, so I didn't know if they were kid gloves in it or not. Because I know that some of the other health concerns are easy.
No, you're not wrong. It being a bye week makes that confusing, and because we do shows on Tuesday, we don't have the injury report for the coming week, so that's why I can't answer it confidently. But I expect him to play. I'll put it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Give me a bounce back game then for the Niners to end the skid.
All right. Over under 46.
Oh. I'll take the under there. Both those defenses I like.
All right, EJ.
Debo practice this week. He should be playing this week. Trent Williams still on the fence of this week, but
I would need. But
yeah, but that being said, I'm gonna go on my gut here and take the Niners just because. Stay away game definitely, but give me the under as well too.
Homer.
I'll take the Niners to win. I will take a slight under. Kyle, since you're in the house, your favorite team, the team you cover, I'm giving you final honors for this.
Oh, okay. I'm getting the anchor on that one. Listen, I just feel like the bye week is a huge factor for all that the Niners added. In particular, Chase Young is going to get into the roster. He's going to be part of the problem. He's going to do battle, albeit Anton Harrison doing well as a rookie tackle. He's going to do well there. Whether or not Walker will be back to sustain the inside is a whole other question. Trevor Lawrence has been doing his thing very well. Running the football is another element. That's all great. It's going to be incredibly low scoring. That's the bet of the week is the under here. That last POS with the Vikings and Saints, don't touch that trash. Under in this game. That's the bet, right? I say all that to say I got the Niners covering the 3. I don't think that's a stretch.
Homer.
If I pick the Jags, I'm a homer too, though, right? I mean, but
That's
no.
the beauty of it, Kyle.
Yeah.
Took you home. Win-win, buddy.
That's the joke. Yes, thank you, Jim, for clarifying. No. But yeah, the Jags haven't played in what I would call a full 60-minute game all year. So I think the Niners will take advantage of that. Granted, I would expect at least 1, if not 2 turnovers caused by the Jags because Josh Allen is a force. But yeah, I said what I said. Niners cover and the under for this game at Everbank Stadium.
All right, there you go. And lastly, we go to the AFC North. The 5-3 Cleveland Browns travel to, in a way, former home, former franchise.
Old Browns, new Browns. Yep.
For the old Browns, new Browns, that old battle. I guess it would be if the Ravens went to Cleveland. I got that one. I got my directions mixed up. You knew what I was doing. 7-2 Ravens are the host. 6-point home favorite for Baltimore. 37.5 is your over-under. 1 o'clock on Fox on Sunday. Kyle, you can start this one off.
You're giving me an entire touchdown against this Browns defense. I will take those points, even though I believe the Ravens win. And this is going to be sloppy. Give me the under.
All right, EJ.
I'm right there with you, Kyle. It's a lot of points to give the Browns cover. I think the Ravens do win this game, but give the Browns to cover and give me the under as well.
All right, Matt.
I will give the Ravens to cover, but I do think the defenses are going to be the story here. So give me the under, like
That's
a
fine
17-10 win, something like that.
That makes sense.
If you were getting 7, you would take the.
I would take the Browns.
Yeah. At one point,
at 1 point, I'm saying he's a gambler. He gets it.
Slight coverage, the spread.
But by the way, I'm not a gambler, and I fucking get it for this.
There we go.
Man, I've watched this Ravens team beat up teams with real good defenses by a lot of points 2 out of the last 3 weeks. I'm not discrediting what the Browns are on the defensive side of the ball, but
you are.
Ravens are cooking right now, man. And look, before the season, I know we joked about Old Bones Jr. and all of that, but he was the best weapon this dude has ever had as a wide receiver, and those returns have been good. The return on investment have been good. So give me Baltimore plus the 6, man. I think they're going to win by 10 or more. I do.
When he selflessly took that contract, right? He right there.
Jim. That's right. That's right. Selfless Odell Beckham. Truer words have never not been spoken. If you know grammar, you'll get that. If you know you'll get it. You'll get it. Just let it cook there for a minute. I think the Ravens win by 10 or more. So with that, I will actually take the over in this game.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean, I'm not betting it because
I love this, Jim. Not on the fence. I love this shit.
Because I'm not a degenerate, so I don't have to worry about that.
He's not on the fence because he fell off that motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucking back still hurts too.
Tier 1 Ravens, baby.
Need a backiotomy. All right. Now we head to our favorite time of the week.
Is it?
Oh my God. I love it. You look triggered there, Kyle.
It's just about to be, I'm sure. Last week you did have your worst pick. By the way, how's that Dolphins at 5 shit going, bitch?
We'll have to find out very soon. Look right, buddy.
All right. It is our EJ's power rankings as we go over them each and every week. Remember, Kyle, as you're looking on the screen, just look at the right side for now, please.
For those who see the video, I have my hand in place.
He does.
That's what she said. No.
Mrs. Nash. All right, EJ, who is your bottom 5 this week?
Pretty much like last week, other than 29-30. Quick swap there, but the same teams, 28 the Patriots, 29 the Bears, 30 the Cardinals, 30 31 the Panthers, 32 the Wolverines, 33 the Bulldogs, 34 the Seminoles, 35 Ohio State, 36 the Giants.
I see what you did there.
I did.
And to Matt's point, twice too high. Washington Huskies 36.
There you go.
There we go.
Wolf.
Yeah.
If I may, Jim, I'm going to drop a compliment on EJ Christian. This is your best bottom 5 this year.
Really?
However, I would like you on air, on record, to formally apologize for all the weeks you had the Texans in the bottom 5.
I've been apologizing, even on my show.
Okay, carry on.
Absolutely. CJ Stroud, I apologize. MVP candidate. Let's go.
Can we get a TikTok of that? That would be 139.46 there.
Here we go. I'll mark it down.
All right. Yeah, I don't have any problems here. I mean, I think 30 through 32, you're splitting hairs if you want to argue them. 28-29, I think in the same boat. I wholeheartedly agree. These are the 5 worst teams.
The Giants, I know he's splitting there. The Giants
if you just even want to take the numbers away and just say these are your bottom 5, I wouldn't even hate it.
The Giants situation.
Like, who gives a shit? Throw them in a bucket. And
the situation, cares. The Giants alone make them worst team. Forget the fact they have 2 wins already and one more win. It's a situation that's bad.
Yes.
Danny DeVito's your quarterback.
And the Panther situation being equally bad because of all the pick trades. 100% a good take.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, not wrong there. All right, EJ, give us your top 10.
Here we go. Number 10, the Seahawks, unchanged. Number 9, the Dolphins. 8 Cowboys, 7 Niners, 6 Lions, 5 Bengals, 4 Jaguars, 3 Ravens, 2 Chiefs. One of those goddamn Eagles. Kyle, what's wrong?
Why are the Seahawks below the Dolphins?
Because they were below the Dolphins before. So
why are the Lions not in your top 4?
Top 4? No.
I would put them ahead of the Jaguars. Maybe not ahead of the Bengals, but
these aren't standings. These are power rankings.
Right. I'm saying I would.
The Lions last
the
week.
Lions at 4 for what it's
the
worth.
Lions last week were at 6. They remain unchanged. Had a bye week, obviously.
Wait. I misheard what you said, Matt. You meant the other way. I beg your pardon. It was really stupid by me. My bad.
Wait, Matt. You have the Lions not in the top 5? They should be in the top 5.
They should be in the top 5.
Who should I take out?
The Jaguars. I would have the Lions ahead of the Jaguars.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I'm not mad at. No, that's not a hot take. That's not a hot take.
Slight hot take.
No, not really.
No, it's not.
Because you sat here telling us for the past 2 weeks how great the Ravens are, and then the Lions got slapped, but it was the Ravens. The Seahawks got slapped, but it was the Ravens, and you penalized them both. That doesn't make any sense to me. The Jaguars didn't do anything last week, and they climbed. I have my own issues with that.
Actually, no. Last week, the Jaguars last week at 4 as well.
Sorry, what?
The Jags were at 4 last week as well.
And wrongly so. Okay? We'll just say it. Okay. They looked like ass against the Steelers, and you rewarded them. That didn't make any sense to me. That defense is amazing, though. And I don't just mean the Steelers. Like the Jaguars, no one is talking enough about the Jaguars defense. I'm the only person I know that's written 2 articles about them. Maybe it's because I write for the Jaguar Report of SI. Bing!
Maybe.
But that's not what it should take. Why are more people not talking about Josh effing Allen, man?
Do you agree?
That's the one on defense.
Kyle.
Not the one that makes a lot of turnovers for the Bills.
Kyle. Also, Andre Sisco, excellent safety.
Do you agree with his take about the Lions being top 5?
Okay. Earlier you asked him about top 4. I would say no. Top 5, now I'm buying.
So you're taking the Jaguars out as well, too, top 5? Because you have to swing out.
I think I would have the Bengals 4 simply because, and this is you could call it a me problem if you want, but we knew the Bengals were going to struggle early. And they took back-to-back the Niners, albeit without Trent Williams, and the Bills. That's a good pairing to beat back-to-back to get back to prowess. That's why I have the Bengals. To me, the Lions and the Bengals right now are interchangeable. That's what I'll say.
So where do you have? And you have them at 4 and 5.
Yeah, in whatever order you want. I don't care. Jags are 6 for me. Now, if they beat the Niners on Sunday, Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
I just had a hard time taking the Jaguars 2 spots down on bye week. That's the thing. The only team that climbed here was the Ravens.
Well, they shouldn't have been
And the
for
Bengals.
last week. So really,
Right.
the only reason you were in that position is because last week, when we said it on that show, you were your worst rankings to that point.
It's funny too because it's funny because last week, the week before last week, you said the Jaguars too low, and then when I corrected that, you said, "Oh, not too high."
Where'd you have the boys last week?
The boys were at, I believe, at same spot. I believe. Hold on.
So
No,
they
they're
didn't-
not. No, they moved up despite the loss. One spot.
Okay.
By the way, as a side,
Because you had to move the Dolphins down, rightly so.
Yes, I thought the loss was a little.
the Dolphins should be 10 at best.
Seattle.
I mean, I have the Dolphins at 9, Seahawks at 10. I think those two can be interchangeable. I don't hate it either way. So the only thing that changed in my top 6 from last week is I have the Ravens at 2
I was going to ask you
over the Chiefs. I have Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, Niners, Jaguars. Because I had Lions, Niners, Jaguars week prior. They didn't play. I had the Bengals, the biggest move in mine. I had the Bengals at 10 last week. They're up to 7.
rightly so.
Like I don't hate anybody putting them at 6 or at 5, but like again, they beat the Niners without Trent Williams, and they beat the Bills, who I've had my issues with the Bills for multiple seasons. So
Hey,
I'm
so
not,
did you
and
take
it wasn't a
mistakes?
huge win. It wasn't a huge win over the Bills. So
While the Trent Williams thing is a thing, I agree with that. That's an issue for the Niners. The reason that was impressive though was the way the Bengals exploited the Niners defense. That's what made me impressed with that win for the Bengals more than anything else.
That shouldn't be impressive. D'Amico Ryans, as a first-year coach, was pointed out as a liability by some of us in the offseason in August on the Student of the Game podcast in the previews. Bing!
I mean, the Browns and the Vikings also had beat them for the 2 weeks prior to that. So
Well, we got to bring that shit up.
The thing is,
you know what? 42-10, motherfucker. There, you feel better?
I'm just saying, like, I'm not, and it's again, there's injury issues and all of that, but like, I'm not gonna overinflate what the Bengals did when 2 worst teams beat them the 2 weeks prior. Like,
I'll say this much though, we probably all agree with this though, that we can hang about the order of these teams in the top 10, but we agree these are the 10 best teams right now in football, right? There's no one outside of 10 that should be here, right? Steelers, Browns. I'm just
Not
names out there with records. That's what I'm saying. Texans.
Not yet.
That's what I'm saying. Chargers.
Well, okay. That's
Definitely not the Chargers. Stop saying the Chargers.
Colin Coward, number 10 today on this podcast. We're on this hierarchy today.
I
Just saying.
think
do math.
He should take his own advice. Like,
I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying this one.
I know you brought it up though. I'm telling him
trying
he
to
take his own
agree with
advice.
you. Shut up, EJ.
I'm not faulting you. I'm faulting him.
Okay. No, but there's not a team outside the top 10 that should be here, right?
No.
Okay.
Well,
No,
you
I
mean
don't.
this week?
I agree with
This
that.
week, right? This week, yeah.
Yeah. I to your point, these things are fluid. I'm not confident that this will hold per se. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, the top 7 I feel like are fairly safe in the top 10 the rest of the way.
The 2 teams, well, obviously, you look at the Steelers and Browns, obviously. They could be on the, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
We don't need evidence there. Let's get to the actual interesting conversation. You need to tell me Chiefs over Ravens. All your they're only tier 1. If they win big, they're tier 1. They won big. They're officially tier 1. And you wanted to say that the Chiefs weren't as impressive to you, right? So why are they below right now? And granted, I'm just wanting your reasoning.
You mean the Ravens?
The Ravens.
Why are the Chiefs above the Ravens?
Right.
Because they're the Chiefs. I mean, no offense. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be straight up with you. The Super Bowl champions, they're 7-2. Look, it's amazing what they're doing. That we're worried about their offense and their receivers not being able to catch balls, and yet they've morphosized to this team now that's probably a top 5 defense in the league right now, and still have Patrick Mahomes, their quarterback. At any point, they get to turn it on when they want to.
That's Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you. I have to give the Super Bowl champions respect.
So I could have shortened all of that for you, and you're a wrestling guy, so you should understand this. You're giving me the Ric Flair defense. To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Pretty much.
That was
Pretty
just
much.
a bunch of like
Pretty much.
extra shit that we talked about already on the Student of the Game report. Bing!
Yeah, and they've earned the trust. They're the Super Bowl champions. They've won 2 Super Bowls the last couple of years. They have earned a lot of trust with me. So there you
You're
go.
talking about trust again, you joker. See what I did there?
Hubba.
There it is. Yeah, I just for whatever reason, again, whatever reason it is, it's a Taylor Swift problem. It's whatever it is. The Chiefs have not been playing that well offensively. If the Chiefs were to play the Ravens this Sunday, I'm going Ravens in that game.
Now, for my money,
I have the Ravens at 2.
Matt, convince me that the Eagles belong over the Chiefs, because this whole we start the game trash and still win anyway thing is kind of a flaw in y'all crew's play.
Right, but I mean, it's the same flaw that we just said Kansas City has.
Good
You're
point.
not wrong, but Kansas City's defense is a little better. And played
absolutely.
tougher teams, I would
What
argue.
is clear is there is no runaway favorite right now. There's a tier. It's been saying all year long. There's a tier of teams now. A tier 1. It still remains 5 teams for me: Bengals, Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens, and Niners. So I know Niners not tier 1. This week it changed though. If they lose to Jaguars this week, I got a problem with that.
If you say the word tier again, I'm going to fall into freaking tears for crazy.
But that's what it is now. We have a bunch of teams in a certain bracket that are, on level.
Tier to bracket. Did y'all catch that? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
And if EJ had the Chiefs 1, Eagles 2, I would not have necessarily argued it. And I think that the fact that we get to see that battle in 2 weeks is going to be telling of how evenly matched we might be or might not be.
So Kyle,
go ahead, Jim.
So you were having EJ defend Chiefs over Ravens. You were having Matt defend Eagles over Chiefs. Do you think the Ravens should be number 1?
I think there's an argument for it, but no, I don't think that's the case. If you look,
I don't hate it either.
Yeah, if you look at the Ravens wins, I'm just not impressed enough yet.
That's fine. I mean,
what the Ravens wins?
They've beaten teams impressively, but name me an impressive team that they've beaten. See what I did there?
The Lions and the Seahawks.
And not just beating them, they beat the fuck out of them.
That's my point. Those are impressive wins, but for example, the Jags should have beaten the Chiefs and didn't. If they had beaten the Chiefs in week 2, I would agree with your putting them for example. They should be penalized heavily for losing that game to the Texans because just the way that Tank Dell exposed them. But then again, I say all that if they had beaten the Texans, they'd be 7-1. It's a whole other conversation. They should.
So now, Kyle, we played the hypothetical game with EJ last week, and we saw how well his Dolphins did. Chiefs, Eagles, both on a bye this week. If the Ravens win convincingly over that Browns defense, put up a lot of points, are you ready to move them into number 1 next week, possibly?
If they spank the Browns defense the way they did both your Lions and the Seahawks, Jim, see what I did there?
My Lions, baby. Let's go.
I would not be against it. No, because the Browns defense is completely underappreciated, arguably as underappreciated as the Jaguars.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the big key, as I've always talked about with the Ravens over the last couple of years, is health. That the health is going to be tested over the rest of the schedule because
especially against that Browns team. Right.
They have Browns, they have Bengals, they have Jaguars, 49ers, Steelers to close out the year. There's a lot of bang 'em up games on this schedule still left for the Ravens. So it's going to be an interesting watch, but definitely a team that trust me, I debated putting them at 1.
Worth noting, impressive wins to the Ravens. They also beat the Bengals earlier on the road. Look at that.
That win against the Bengals in week 2 is not impressive.
But it's still in the win column.
In the Joe Burrow struggle zone. No, it's not.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. The Bengals were bad when the Ravens beat them. Don't do it. Don't try to sell that as a good win because it wasn't.
Because if you are, then the Bengals shouldn't be 5.
And the Ravens, and if you are selling it as a great win, then you fucked your own rankings up by having the Ravens at 3. See what I mean?
You should be higher than the Chiefs and the Eagles. In other words,
I mean, I didn't put them.
This team, funny. Ravens,
as much as I wanted to, I still had the Eagles at 1.
We'll say this: the Ravens are literally 2 plays from being fucking 9-0. That's the funny thing.
That's the case for number 1. He's right.
And they also only beat the Cardinals by 7. So
No, that game was very close. No. That game was very close.
What happened here?
That was a late score. That was That
And?
was never close. That was never close. That was a late score. Like what seconds go in the game?
Are you EJ? Are you pulling the garbage time defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was. I'm telling you, context matters.
Okay. Well, then they beat the Bengals by 3. So
On the road again, Bengals on the road.
No, but you always do this thing.
I know what you do.
You always do this thing about, well, this team's 3 plays from being undefeated. Well, they could also be 3 losses. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
or in this case, they are losses.
Funny thing, the Giants could be fucking easily 500 right now, but they're stupid. So go ahead.
They suck.
Yeah, but they maybe they would be 500 if they actually had a coach of the year.
Danny DeVito is your quarterback. Fuck.
He's probably better than Tony DeVito. Is that the guy's name?
Meanwhile, Matt is smiling because it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
I wish I knew Matt back in 2007, 2008 when the Giants were good.
Whatever.
It's a shame.
Funny. That joke was funnier than EJ's self-loathing. Okay, I'm just saying.
All right. Any other thoughts on the rankings, gentlemen?
The Jags are easily your biggest miss this week.
That's it. Pretty good though, right? Pretty good rankings though.
Certainly better than last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much most, except what I said. We would have put the Lions and Jags.
Fair enough.
I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, not bad. All right, guys. As we do, we look ahead to the weekend that is.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. What is one thing that will happen this weekend? EJ, I'll start with you.
My lock this week is that, and we didn't cover this game on the picks because why would you? Because this team fucking sucks out loud and in silent. The Giants will get crushed by over 17 points that their dogs by.
Talk about fence sitting. Good God. I reject this lock.
The Giants have not been a 17-point dog in fucking years, probably in about 15 years.
Rejecting the lock.
This week, they're 17-point dogs against Dallas. They're losing by more than 17. That's not high enough.
That's not a lock. Yeah, lock in something higher than
lock.
That is a fence sitting, sir.
I'm not fencing at all.
Kyle, show EJ how to do this.
I am going to. I'm going to do it. I'm going to lock that. Yeah, I'll double down. I'll lock the Niners beat the Jags this week.
Lock it up.
All right, Matt.
I really wanted to lock the Giants over the Cowboys. You just stole my thunder there.
I was going to do it too. I was going to say Timmy Taylor.
Tommy DeVito, Danny's
Tappy
cousin.
DeVito gets his first win, but EJ ruined my joke.
Stole all of that thunder. So you know what? I'll just have to lock up. We didn't talk about this game. Give me the U.
Matt, that's what I was going to do as my backup.
Lock it up.
Fuck. Now I'm screwed. I have nothing.
Notre Dame wins, and if they don't, it's because
they're on a bye.
They're on a bye, so they can't even.
Well, the refs. Then you're safe. Jim. Then you're safe from the officials.
Yeah, they'll fuck that up too.
Stress-free weekend for Matt. No Notre Dame, no Eagles.
That's
both
right.
on a bye.
Eagles on a bye.
It should be a stress-free weekend for me, but
I mean, until you.
No, it's a bye week for the Cowboys too. It's okay. Relax.
No.
When Penn State loses, they'll have stress.
And yet, watch Jim bitch all day on during the Giant Cowboys game on Sunday on Twitter.
When the Cowboys somehow make that thing close, yes, I will absolutely.
They covered the 17 points because the refs.
Referees.
I actually didn't think I saw Jim complain too much about the refs on Sunday.
There was a couple of calls, but it wasn't. The one that I had. The one that I had the issue with the most was, and it's more the way the rule is written as opposed to the way the call was executed, with the Schoonmaker touchdown. Because like if the ball would have ended up incomplete, like say he was in the end zone and like same mechanics happened, but the ball came loose, it would have been an incomplete pass because he didn't complete it through the catch. But yet, if the instant that he catches it, it becomes down at the spot, and completing the catch doesn't come into play. There's goofiness with the way that catch rule is, which we've been trying to figure out what a catch is in the NFL for years,
over a decade, my friend.
So like, it's just it's an NFL problem. Like, and the fact that like Schoonmaker was getting tackled before he was that was the only one that was really agreed.
But it's kind of the same with the sideline call, right? The ball doesn't end up where it is when they fall out of bounds on a sideline catch. Like they're down the minute the ball hits their hands.
Right, but if they're going to the ground and if their feet are in and they're going to
right, they still have to maintain that, but they're out technically or in bounds. So that was kind of why I didn't understand the logic behind that.
Right, but again, you're right, but again, it's that weird silliness with the NFL and what's a catch.
I mean,
and
yeah, and NFL really just needs to figure out what a catch is. And
right, like is the catch at the point of catch, or is the catch at the completion of the catch? Because if it's at completion of the catch, then it's a Schoonmaker touchdown. If it's a point, then the sideline thing, you know what I mean? Like that's where the goofiness is.
Muddy waters.
Yeah, and my bigger issue was the play, and I know I've seen a couple Eagles fans like, well, you can see like a Cowboys offensive lineman like holding a defensive lineman in the background when Schoonmaker's getting tackled before the ball's there, and I'm like, okay, so then it's offsetting, and we just replay the down. But like either way, the Eagles don't get the ball. They don't get the ball back. But anyway, like that's none of that was the reason the Cowboys lost. The Cowboys forgetting to play defense for about 3 or 4 consecutive drives probably didn't help them.
By the way,
I'm going to double down on Matt because I got nothing better. Give me the fucking you. Fuck you, EJ. Fuck
great.
Fuck the Seminoles.
So fence sitting, note stealing. This is great.
You big bad.
I mean, this asshole stole my thunder with I was gonna lock Timmy DeVito getting his number 1 first win of the year. So this asshole ruined it from the jump. So
and
I come prepared with multiple things. I can't. It's not my fault that you guys steal my work. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I stayed in my lane, so I don't want
to. You were good. I appreciate that.
With all the catch conversation, gentlemen, a quick reminder: the Calvin Johnson catch was 2010. So.
Jesus. And that was a catch too.
Absolutely.
Was a catch. Absolutely was a catch.
You know which one wasn't?
Don't say
Right. I fucking hate you so much.
Listen,
yourself.
As the Niners fan in the room, I will keep up. That totally was a catch.
Oh, 100%. As the Eagles fan in the room,
you guys will appreciate this. We did a Jeopardy game at work, and like the members of my team got to pick the categories, and our team leader hosted it. And one of the categories he picked was the Dallas Cowboys, and I happened to get the answer of, that like was the Dez Bryant catch a catch. So of course, to get the correct answer and the points, I had to say no. Right. So that was fun.
Wow, you're less of a Cowboys fan than EJ.
That was fun. EJ, tell the people where they can follow you.
All right, Ernest League podcast across all podcast catchers. Again, we did 2 shows today actually. Of course, the game report today, midterm grades. I'm on Twitter /X, what the fuck you call it these days, at EastPrison7.
You know this is a Twitter house.
Check out my YouTube page also too, at youtube.com/Ernest Christian. Other than that, fun show, 2 hours. Jeez, over 2 hours.
Yeah, this one
loved it.
This one went a while. Matt, go ahead. Where can people follow you?
I think Kyle had a question.
No, continue, Matt. I'll save it for my
All right. Yeah, you can
soliloquy.
You can hear me on Thursdays and Tuesdays on the 3CT podcast. You can hear me twice a year on the pitch, once every other year on the Earnestly Speaking podcast.
I was going to ask you.
Like you can hear me in 10 years.
No, Matt, funny you asked. I was going to ask you to come on the show next week.
You're on vacation.
No,
I'll text you later. I'll text you next. Yeah. I'll text you later on.
Yeah, I should be able to do that. Okay. You can follow me across all platforms at Teaching to the Choir.
All right, I'm gonna hit some of my stuff real quick. I'll let Kyle, because Kyle goes long.
That's what she said.
Kudos to Mrs. Student of the game. Of course, you can follow our show at Huddle Up Podcast across Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch now as well. Our shows are up there.
Look at us.
Across all podcast platforms. But Student of the Game, Kyle Nash, let them know.
And honor, joy, and privilege, gentlemen. First of all, EJ Christian, Joel Klatt has the best answer. You say on Twitter, because it just says weird to say, I'm on X at. It just sounds wrong.
The problem is that he gets mad at me when I say X.
Okay.
Why are you like this?
No, you get mad at me for saying when I say.
Hey, listen, all I'm trying to do is match the T-shirt release on TeePublic here for Hit the Clat, and you're fucking up.
Rightly so.
Thank you. And just you're just awful with the merchandising. Thank you for failing at life.
Merchandising.
I have merchandising on the show.
Merchandising.
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing anymore, brother.
You're giving me fuel. You're giving me fire, not that which I desire. Prove that you're the tool. Anyways, of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. You can find me on Instagram and Threads as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writings and work with the Jacksonville Jaguars by way of the Jaguar Report and the 3-point conversion. By the way, you can also check out my podcast, The Student of the Game, on Wednesday night, 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, my man, Travis Holmes, rides along with me, Big Cat Country, doing the Duval Dive, 11:15 a.m. We'll be simulcasting on the Pro Sports Fans app. And if you don't hear it live, guess what? You'll be able to check it out on iHeartRadio via the 3-point conversion channel. And then also from 12 to 2, you can hear both the Student of the Game and the Duval Dive on A7BN Sports' friend there, the oldschool101.com. So check that out. By the way, forgot to mention Mikey Byrne will be on to do midseason awards for the Student of the Game podcast. So that should be fun. And by the way, this weekend, hosting the mullet himself at FBC Mortgage Stadium, the UCF Knights are going to play some football. Hopefully they could get a back-to-back Big 12 win so they have a shot at bowl eligibility, and I could cover a better game, allegedly, with the black and gold.
Allegedly.
See, here's the thing, though. I'm not trying to go Shreveport in like early December for a bowl game, though, bro. Not my jam. And we haven't won enough games to get to the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is right here in my backyard. Not for nothing, but an honor, joy, and privilege to huddle up with you gentlemen one more time. But until next time, class dismissed.
Absolutely, always a fun time as we make our way through the football season. We'll be back here again to do it next week, so make sure you are following the show at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, on Twitch, as well as get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. Subscribe to us on all podcast platforms. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports, but like I said, just hit the show stuff. That's the most important thing. Share the show with your friends. Get as many people interacting and rating and reviewing the show and all of that. We would certainly appreciate it. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the win.